Okay. Today we're going to be talking about selling at BJ's Wholesale. If you have a great product, perfect for BJ's, this training will give you some things to think about in regards to selling to them. With that said, let's get started on today's training. Today I want to talk about BJ's Wholesale. So the reason I decided to create a video on this particular retailer is because some of you guys love the concept of warehouse stores like Costco and so forth, and some of you might not have heard of BJ's, and so I want to talk to you about that because there's so many opportunities with retail to get your products into stores beyond the basic top retail chains and so forth. So BJ's is a wholesale retailer that they're those warehouse type retail stores. It's a membership only retailer, so you actually have to pay a membership to be part of this organization. So people pay a membership, they can go to those stores, they're a massive warehouse, and ultimately they get great deals, right? Because they buy product in bulk and so forth. And so it's a great thing, very similar to Costco and so forth. BJ's they have over 200 stores that they're responsible for, so they can buy massive product. Because if you can think about a warehouse store, usually what you'll see is that they actually carry products in a pallet form. A pallet is a lot of products in one singular pallet. And so a lot of these warehouse retailers actually buy by the pallet. So can you imagine you get BJ's interested in your product, all of a sudden they buy one pallet for one store, but they have over 200 stores they're responsible for. If you can add the numbers up, that's pretty substantial revenue for you. So that's why a lot of people like warehouse stores. So some of the things though to consider though, you definitely need packaging that's different for the warehouse stores versus other types of retailers. So if you sell to just about any other retailer, you can create your own packaging on a hanging card or whatever, however it is for that particular store. But for a warehouse store, they actually require you to create really heavy packaging because it's on a pallet. There's lots of products on there. It could get smushed and travel and so forth. And so they have a lot of different requirements. So it does require you to change your packaging to ensure that you can handle, number one, the volume, but also the fact that they're going to need you to create a special packaging. It's usually called blister pack packaging. It costs more to make. It adds to your bottom line. It's like that stuff that, it's impossible to break through and so forth. You're going to need to create something like that in order to work with a warehouse. Some people don't like to do that because it requires them to create only packaging. It's a lot of work and so forth. And some people don't care. They want that packaging. They want to get into that warehouse retailer. And so in your case, you're going to have to think about that if you want to go after a BJ's or a Costco or something like that. The other thing to think about is that BJ's actually really talks a lot about the fact that they are very into private label. So they buy a lot of private label goods. Basically what that means is they have their own brand names, and then they buy products from manufacturers like you. And then when they buy products from you, they actually make you put it under their brand name. So the packaging will be under your brand name and so forth. So people will not know that it's coming from you. They're actually purchasing your product. It's called private label. So essentially, if you go into BJ's and you see their BJ packaging, that doesn't necessarily mean that BJ's is creating it. It's actually a company like yours has created it. They just work with you to put their packaging on their product and so forth. So if you're okay with possibly selling a BJ's under their brand name, like you don't care about your name and your packaging all to be on that product, BJ's can be a great resource for you as well. There's so many things I can share with you about going after a warehouse retailer like BJ's. If you want to learn more, I actually have an extensive free training series at my website, retailmba.com. Very powerful. Highly recommend exploring that. You don't want to just go after these retailers unless you know more about how to actually approach them. There is some finessing that you have to do when you go after these stores. Sometimes I create these videos and I get nervous that you guys are just going to go after them without knowing what else to do, because there's some things you got to learn about retail. So take a look at my website, retailmba.com, for the free training. Very powerful. I'm not into fluff. Also, I have a full Retail MBA training program that you can do in a weekend. And that thing, you'll know everything there is to know about going after retail. Next week, you can go after retail chains and so forth. Both of those programs are on my website, retailmba.com. Anyways, it's Karen Waksman of Retail MBA. I hope this information provided value. Just a quick tip and strategy. Thanks so much.